Hi there, I'm Abraham. This is for the application development. So I'm going to be going over homework week number 8. And what I'm going to be doing is answering um, 3 questions as if I'm in an interview. Gives me about a 5-minute limit. I hope that's going to happen. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Um, so basically, I'm gonna share my screen because I want to make sure you see everything. So we're going to do share screen. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the assignment. I'm going to read off the assignment. But so what I did is I read the questions, and this is just kind of interviews if I'm going to be with a potential employer. So what I'd like to do is just go ahead and show you the questions, and then I use AI to some of the answers. So I'm going to go ahead and reflect. So question number 1 is edge case awareness, inner versus left join with nulls. If you run a left join between a movies table, so you have a movies table and a ratings table, what happens, and this is as if the interviewer is asking me this question, so I need to answer it, but I'm going to be using an assistance with be assisted with a piece of paper with the answers. What happens to the rows from from the movies table that have no matching ratings? How do you filter the query to only show those unrated movies? So the answer to that would be I would say to him, a left join forces the database to keep every single record from the first table in no matter what event that happens. To continue, if the second table does not have a matching piece of the puzzle, the database does not crash. The filter is basically to find only the unrated movies, you add a where clause targeting the right table. So as we said in the beginning, a left join. So a left join is joining something that's on the right table. Um, Let me give you an example. You would be typing in a query like something like this, where, so where. So let's just do that really quick. If I was going to do a query, let's just say we're going to go in here. Let's just write that query. So you can type something like this, where, it's not right here. I don't know that. Sorry, folks. Where ratings dot movie score movies score ID is no. So that would be a query. I don't think it's gonna do anything on that. I think it's gonna give me an error, but let's just see. Yeah, so it failed to run SQL query error 42061. So anyway, that would be the query that should be run to be able to make sure everything is okay. So I'll keep moving. So I think I'm going to keep this into under 1 minutes. All right. Going back to the question number 2, performance literacy, tax and indexing. When joining two massive tables with millions of rows, like a users table and a stream underscore logs table, what under the hood mechanism ensures a query runs in milliseconds instead of minutes? My answer would be the secret rep blah, 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 blah. The secret weapon is proper indexing. You must ensure that there is an index, typically a B tree index. And we talked about this earlier in other chapters. B tree is like a very more advanced sort of way of like indexing information and data. I think it's after like it's not raw data, but it's past raw data. And the B tree kind of is a like a point two type of thing that does a little bit better. Um, And then also too, in all In almost all relational schemas, this means you join the primary key. So remember again, primary key is a key that's in a table in a table, and one of the columns is the primary key. And the parent, let me see, in almost all relational schemas, this means you join the primary key of the parent table to the foreign key of the child table. So we kind of learned what that is. I know that's a little chopped up, a bit of an answer, but as I said before, I use AI. Okay, could keep this under 5 minutes. The last question that I'm going to be answering is what is the difference between a left join and a cross join, and what is the dangerous performance risk of accidentally running a cross join on the large production database? So a left join basically is, I'm not going to really look at my information, but left join is something that you're going to, I believe, I'm going to give you two answers. It would be either the right database, but I think it's the left database that's going to be connecting to another database. So a left join is joining something to another database where um, they both have some sort of like column that is the same, that has this, that is the same. So that's how you do the joins. If you basically, the answer would be a left join is targeted and conditional. It connects rows only where a specific rule matches. So once again, I think I wrote a query in that earlier. Cross joins is a blind matchmaker. It connects every single row in table A to every single row in table B, creating a Cartesian product. So that just sounds like it's a big mess. There's no, it may not be a parent table versus a child table, because there's no sort of like, um, match, meaning, the parent table has a column that is the same identical column that you would see in a child table, which would be considered a foreign key. Anyway, so the conclusion basically is this. Mastering these three concepts shows interviewers you do not just write code, you understand how databases actually compute data. So what we've done here is we've kind of addressed joining. Joining can be very complex. I know my answers probably aren't the best and they're a little chopped up, but I just wanted to get this assignment over with. In a summary, left join is basically, a left join means that it's going to join another data table from the left to the right. I believe that's how it is. I believe it could be possibly the other way around, where a left join means that something from the left's right is going to be joining it. But I think it's the left join goes over to the right to join to another table that has the same, shares the same columns and all that. All right. So this concludes my interview question, which I probably didn't get the job. Sorry, we're not going to hire you. Anyway, I just am happy that I was able to get this recording over with, and I know it was a little choppy, but once again, this is not the real world, but it is preparing us for the real world. Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we are done with this video.